Kublai pi baro kini kilong ki kubor bam tagasngi. Umentu rang ba gajula Meghalaya o Conrad ki sangma uloong ba ga artificial intelligence AI kalong shibenta ka ba kongsan ha gasin shar khadar ba ha ga jing im jugi pat ba ha kini gisngi. Uang ru bagi pat ba ki kharkhana bagi tanat sarkar ki banong ki batep ki basnguthu bar ki blapen kre ya ga jingpynkylla ha ka prathai digital. Habakran ha kajingelang ban kli pat ba ya kajingpen bam pensnyo kabadai halor ka AI umintu rangba uloong ba ka sarkar jila kratre shitom banwanra ki jingpynkylla ha ka technology bat bante ki rukam trekam ki basyong nongrin ha ka data ha ka jila. Ulag dawru bagi jingeta iling bagi national consultations bagi consensus building ha ka ribaro ka we kila wanra ya ka jingmenjur lang kabla pelong ya ka sarkar kami ban jiet ya ka Meghalaya kum ka we na ki jilla ban pelong ya ka conference ba kongsan halor ka AI bat ka digital governance. Ngapan pau ya ka jing sngongu siya umintu rang ba adu bat siya ka sarkar India ba kila jiet ya ka Shillong kum ka we na ki jaka ban pelong ya ka conference ka badon kam laong ukondran. Ula batay ru baka AI kamdan kam tang hakaliang ka business mrikla long ru ka benta ka bakong santam ha ka sanshar khadar. Ka AI kala long ka benta ka bakong san bah ka business bar ha ka governance. Kumta ka long ka badan kam baki pat ba ki business bar ka sarkar kin long ki ba tip bar ki be shim benta ha ka ka baja ka AI ecosystem la ka ro usangma. Umentu rang ba ulapan pau ka jingkermen bagani ka conference kan wan ralang ya ki rius tiang bapher na ka benta ka jingyetli ban penklan ya ka jingtem ka jingyetrelang ba ka jingdung jingmut jingpenyat ulo ongru ba ka jingwan shiprang sha ka data driven society kan penbhashi sha ya ka jing imjong ki pat ba ka jilla.
So we have just inaugurated the AI regional conference right here in Shillong. As you're aware that there are 5 such conferences that are going to be held throughout the country, which will be followed by the concluding one, which will be at the national capital, where all of this effort will be converged into the final conference that will take place in Delhi. And we are very thankful to the IT Minister and the Government of India for having selected Shillong as one of the venues of the 5 regional conferences. AI today is a very, very important part of our lives. It's a very important part of business and definitely a very important part of governance. And therefore, it's very important that whether it's the citizens, whether it's the businesses or the government, must be very aware and very involved in what's happening in the AI sector. I'm hopeful that this regional conference will throw a lot of light on that, will bring in different players and stakeholders on the same platform so that we're able to take this vision of a knowledge and a data-driven society and governance forward to make lives better for the people of our state and the people of our country. Thank you so much.
That we're having. I truly believe that this is going to shape the future of technology, knowledge, data-driven governance, as well as different businesses that we will do in the days to come. You just heard one gentleman, his name is Mike, we call him Mike. And he was explaining to you what they are doing in Shillong. For those who could not catch up on what he was saying, let me put it in very, very simple language to you. Almost all Fortune 500 companies run on what we call ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. And the version S3 version is what most of the enterprises are. They are now shifting to the S4 version. It's called the S4 HANA. Now, when the S4 HANA is being developed, obviously there are many modules that need to be tested, like any software or any kind of medicine, in fact, vaccines. These need to be tested. Now, while this testing takes place, I was speaking to one of the representatives from NVIDIA, and we had a very great discussion. I don't know if they're here right now, but I spoke to them and they were telling me that, NVIDIA believes in a concept called light of speed, or speed of light, I'm so sorry. speed of light. And what that concept is that they want to do everything really fast, obviously, simple as that. But how they do it is that they break up a process into multiple processes. And after breaking those multiple processes, they look at that one process and say, well, how long does this take to resolve this? And then they try to figure out, well, is there a way to reduce the time that it takes to resolve this particular part of the larger problem? And can we use technology to do that? So that's how the speed of light concept works, is what I was made to understand. And in that process, so what's happening with this entire ERP process and this entire S4HANA migration that's taking place, it requires the entire migration to happen in a very quick manner, and obviously because it's about money and time is money. So this entire testing and migration that takes place, artificial intelligence and the softwares and different apps being created can actually help this migration process become faster. The testing become faster. It's as simple as that. So that's what in a nutshell it is. So one of the modules to test this migration of S4HANA was developed right here in Shillong by an engineer from Shillong, a Khasi boy, and along with him, of course, his entire team. And maybe I could be getting some of the facts incorrect because I'm not obviously I'm not a tech guy, but I understand a bit of it. But this migration is taking place today, and the testing is taking place. And as I said, what Mike was explaining to you is that now these companies are looking at Shillong and looking at Meghalaya for solutions, not just for this migration, but for other solutions also, where artificial intelligence and different programs that could come in, the skill that we have in Meghalaya and Shillong in particular, can be used in order to provide larger solutions. Just to share with you, the S4HANA migration sector itself, that market itself is about a $10 billion market, just to share that with you. So when you say $10 billion, that's about 90 lakh crores. That's the kind of impact of the financial opportunity that is there in that sector alone. So suppose Meghalaya, that means Shillong, and that means this particular firm, and we in Shillong can even take about 10% of that market share, which if we really work hard, we can. You're talking about 8,000 to 9,000 crores worth of business being conducted right here in Shillong. And more than 500 to 1,000 young boys and girls sitting right there at the back could be part of this great transformation and opportunity that we're looking at. So that's the kind of future I see when it comes to technology and AI, and that's where this conference is, as I said, of great importance to us. But while we do that, I'll just talk about just two more things before I conclude. Number one is, it's not just in what solutions we're providing for companies outside, and that's just one area. I don't want to share too much because it's not my right or my I don't have the right to share all of that because it's a company thing. But without naming the companies, there are companies right now who are working out here who are using, again, AI tools, and about 300 people are working right now in that particular process, where exactly what one of our speakers before me spoke, that they are actually putting all the factors into prediction of the crops and weather patterns that are there, and how it's affecting crops and the growth and the diseases that are there. And that testing is taking place right here in Shillong. So the entire, the photographs are sent to them. So I was just watching the process. So photographs are sent, the picture is sent at a particular day in the time, the data of the rainfall, the kind of information about the sun and the different, properties of it, the soil, the way it was tested, and how the, content changed, the height of the crops that is happening. All this information was fed into a software and a tool, and then that tool started predicting as to what could be the possible problems that could be in the future and what steps to take to prevent them or to even increase the growth of the agriculture produce. Now, these are the kind of things that are happening today from the AI's perspective. But what I'm trying to say is happening right here in Shillong is what my message to all of you is. So it's a great opportunity. So while these companies are doing this, for the state government itself, what Mr. Sampath was explaining about the simple thing of maternal mortality. For us, one very important pillar which I've always stressed on, and I just want to share this with you, in the last 7.5 years of our government, we have been very particular about one thing, that our decisions and our policies will be data driven. We are not going to take decisions and we're not going to move forward without finding the actual data and the information and what are the facts of the matter. And he was giving an example of, maternal deaths that were taking place. We were the highest in the country in 2018. Today, we have reduced it by 50% and we've come down to the national average. And this is data-driven decisions, because all the information we got allowed us to make the correct decisions, make the correct interventions, and exactly pinpoint where the problem lies. Because as we all know, in governance, or in fact in life in general, we don't really realize where the problem is. We always look at the result and we say that is the problem, whereas actually the problem is something else. Like, for example, a lot of people felt that institutional delivery was the problem why maternal mortality was high. It's not. Why was there no less institutional delivery? That is the problem. It's because the mothers could not go to the institutions, because the homes were very far away, because there was nobody to counsel them, to tell them that you have to go. So these kind of informations allowed us to help in governance. And today, as Sampath was mentioning to you, we actually monitor every pregnant mother in the state today. We know exactly how many of them are there. We know exactly who are the high-risk mothers. We have about close to 29,000 pregnant mothers at any given time. About 10 to 15% of them are high-risk mothers. We know exactly what the problem is with them, and then we intervene and ensure that we give the corrective decision on a person-to-person basis. And that's how micro-detailing we do, which helps us to reduce maternal deaths. And this is happening because of technology. Similarly, today, we are one of the first states in the country to have what we call a water policy. Now, many states have it, but we came out with it in 2019. This policy is guiding us to bring out more of a, integrated effort to ensure that we are able to manage our water better. Water is a big problem. You may think that we've got a lot of rain, but a lot of rain doesn't mean that water is enough. We have a huge water issue because of the management of the water. Because of the fact that water just simply falls and it just flows away. So we have like 63 billion cubic meters of rainfall every year. Out of the 63 billion cubic meters, 61 billion cubic meters, half of it flows to Assam, half of it flows to Bangladesh. How do we ensure that this water is now mapped? How do we ensure that we are able to slow the flow? How do we ensure that we are able to create the right infrastructure at the right point so that the water can be preserved? So the whole exercise of mapping 75,000 springs through digital mapping, satellite mapping, LIDAR mapping, drone mapping has been done. And we exactly can tell you today, using AI and all the softwares, that where if we construct what kind of dams, can we ensure that maximum water is stopped. Now, what does this help us? Why does it help me? It's because if I talk to the engineers with due respect, they will tell me, sir, we have to build a reservoir here, and here. And then I'll be sitting there and saying, okay, how much will it cost? Sir, 300 crores. And that's a lot of money for me. But then if I use technology, the entire software just with the press of a button will tell me, sir, you don't need to do all of them. If you do it strategically in this point, our assessment of the entire topography and the waterfall and the flow of the river and everything shows us that you need to do it only in 10 locations. And this happened in reality. Just to share with you again, Upper Shillong, we have a lot of streams coming in to the forest areas that provide water to Shillong city. When initially I said that I want dams to be created, reservoirs to be created, I was given a huge budget. I think almost touching 100 crores. But when we map these springs and we use the softwares that were developed by our people, we were able to convert and do the exact same thing at only 4.5 crores. And that was possible because of technology. And today we are in the process, of course, we have a lot of, like any other government, we have shortage of funds. So it's not so simple for us. But I'm very keen, and there are our friends sitting in the audience today who are working with us, where we're very keen to see that all the 75,000 springs that we have, we should be having auto-detecting systems in it that give us live report on what is the level of the water that is there. I don't know how many of you know this or not, but there is the basin called the Murray-Darling Basin in Australia. There was a point in time that New South Wales, which is the biggest and the most important, I guess, province or state out there, they had a huge water crisis. So what they did was they mapped every spring. They put automated systems to give them the level of the water out there. They started putting automated dams and reservoirs that could be lifted with the press of a button right in the control room. And with that, they were able to rejuvenate all the springs. Now, it's a great study of and a great example of what technology can do, and we are trying to replicate that. Of course, their model is far ahead of what we are trying to do, but we want to take that first step to put the sensors in place so that we can get the information that's coming in.